I say, hey guys!
Hi
Welcome back to our channel!
guys!
So before we get into it, make sure you go ahead and like and subscribe to our channel. Yes! So as you can tell by the title, I'm going to be talking about my labor and delivery story. It was a video that was requested, but I also just want to be here for young moms who are currently pregnant, about to give birth, and just kind of give it, and just give advice for those who are about to go through this amazing experience. But 2 weeks before my due date was my high school graduation. It's end of May, it's hot outside, I'm already stressed out, you know, anxious, nervous. Exactly. And it's just the perfect formula for going into labor. So we're at graduation, it's my time to walk, and I'm just sitting here like, y'all, it's about to go down. Like, I'm about to have this baby here. Like, I just feel it. I just knew my water was gonna break. I was gonna start having contractions right here on the stage. I was like, it's gonna happen. So it's my time. I walk up there, walk across the stage, give my handshakes, give my hugs, walk down the steps, walk back to my seat. We made it. So, unfortunately, I didn't have the story of, oh my gosh, my water broke at high school graduation. So I'm getting the sense that I'm not going to have her on the due date. I go to my doctor for a checkup, and she checks me to see how far dilated I am. And I am only, I think, 1 or 2 centimeters dilated. So during that checkup that I had, that's when she said, okay, so if you don't have the baby by this certain time, then we'll just schedule your induction date for June 22nd. And it's crazy because I remember during this time there was someone going around telling people that I had already gone into labor, and I was getting all of these text messages and phone calls like, oh my god, you had pregnant. Like, no. So I had to put a Snapchat up of me still being pregnant, like, hey guys, still very much so pregnant. Just, you know, teenage things. The night before my induction day, I just remember sitting in my bed in the dark and the silent, like, just bawling my eyes out, because it was then when it had all kicked in that my life was going to change forever. I was going to come home with the baby, all the emotions. I had just gotten broken up with a month before. Is take time to mentally prepare yourself. You're a young mom. That itself is a lot to take on. So take time to mentally prepare yourself, because I swear to you, that next day, you gotta be ready. So fast forward to my induction day. I was scheduled to go in at 5 a.m. in the morning. I remember going that day, going in with no expectations. I just went in with a plan. Especially if you're a teen mom, please go in knowing what you're about to get yourself into. Research. If you're watching this video, that's research. That's doing what you have to do to better inform yourself of what you're about to get yourself into. I knew that I wanted skin to skin right away. I knew I wanted to try to go as long as I could without an epidural, but I didn't expect to go without one. I just wanted to try to go as long as I could, and if I went without one, then great, even better. I just knew everything. I had a plan, because I was not about to go in this hospital, 17 years old, and have all of these nurses and doctors looking at me like, oh, here comes another teen mom who doesn't know what she's getting herself into. She's just about to pop a baby out and just be another stereotype. So do not go in and give them that power of calling you another stereotype. Go in and know what you're doing. Know what you want. Have a plan. It's 5 a.m. and they immediately hit the ground running. I did paperwork, I got an IV, got fluids, you know, I think I got my gown on, like, they're ready to go. Especially if you're being induced, they're gonna hit the ground running really quick. They gave me something to ripen my cervix. I think it's called Cytotec. It's just something to smooth it out and just make it easier for labor, obviously. And shortly after they give you the Cytotec, they give you Pitocin. Pitocin is a synthetic form of oxytocin that strengthens and speeds up your contractions. So it just really jump-starts labor for you. And boy, did it jump-start labor, because I immediately started feeling contractions. They were bearable contractions, but I definitely felt them. So when they gave me the Pitocin and I was feeling those contractions, I was still able to like walk around. I remember walking around the hospital, talking to my aunt for a while, just preparing myself. And they tell you to walk around to speed it up even more. So I walked around, I think maybe a couple of hours had passed, and I walked back to my room because I was like, okay, they're starting to get a little more intense now. I went back, the nurses checked me. I feel like I was maybe 3 or 4 centimeters dilated, which I mean is of course a little bit better. But when I got back to that room, baby boy, I was feeling those contractions, okay? Like, it depends on your pain tolerance level for sure. I thought my pain tolerance was high. Those contractions, and I'll insert a video, those contractions are period cramps like everyone says, but they're 1,000 times worse. I did not think that I would be that person laying in bed, screaming, hollering over some contractions, but I was that person. I could only endure that for like another hour because after that hour I was like, nurse, epidural me please. Epidural over here. Yep. Know your stuff about epidurals. You won't get your epidural right away. It may take the anesthesiologist 30 minutes to 3 hours before he gets there to you because there is a whole line ahead of you. Now me, I was lucky enough that he arrived in like 45 minutes, I think. Keep that in mind when you're trying to wait it out, because the longer you wait, and then you're like, okay, now I want it. Okay, well, it might be another hour or 2 before you actually get it because you waited so long. 2, the epidural is gravity-based, which means whatever side you're laying on is where the epidural is going to go. So I suggest laying flat because it's just going to go, you know, equally to both sides. But sometimes the nurses will get you to rotate just so it can be more effective on one side versus the other. Keep in mind, you have to be completely still when you get an epidural. This was the scariest part about getting an epidural because I was over here rocking back and forth, moaning, screaming, and crying because it hurt so bad that it was so hard to be still. I had to clench a pillow, just keep telling myself, be still, like you don't want to be paralyzed, like oh my god, like you're gonna be paralyzed if you move. So keep that in mind. Again, the longer you wait, the more intense the contractions, the harder it is to be still, and you cannot move. And I would say the epidural feels like a bee sting, but on steroids. Like, it definitely hurt, but it was worth it. So I don't want any shame from any mothers when it comes to natural versus epidural, because you aren't proving anything to anybody. This is you and your childbirth experience. You don't want to have to suffer the whole time just because you're trying to prove a point to someone that, oh, I had a natural birth. Kudos to those who do have natural births. That's great. But you don't want to be worn out and tired and not be able to enjoy this once in a lifetime sometimes experience. So girl, get the epidural if you need it. So once I got the epidural, you know, it was pretty smooth sailing from there. I might have been 5 centimeters dilated, and then they broke my water for me. It didn't hurt at all. It was just very uncomfortable. Like I said, you're numb, so you don't really feel anything. I remember asking them, like, okay, did you break it yet? And they're like, oh yeah, we already broke it. Like, I didn't even feel the water coming out. But yeah, that happened. You know, we're just kind of waiting and waiting and waiting. Her dad arrives eventually, and let me tell this story. If you're a single mom, if you're a teen mom, please remember to put whatever drama y'all have going on aside and focus on your child. This should be your mindset throughout the rest of your child's life if you're a single mom. Or whoever, put your child first. Put all the drama aside, because me and her dad, we had just broken up a month before, so there was that tension. There was tension between him and my family, tension between him and my parents. It was just awful. As soon as he got there, tension just... So it's just a lot. And it did, you know, upset me. It kind of ruined the rest of the time before she got there. It ruined it. So that's why I say, make it a goal to put whatever drama y'all have aside. So out of nowhere, her heart rate started dropping. I remember nurses were just running into the room, figuring out what the problem was. They were trying to get me to rotate side to side to see if that was a problem. They gave me oxygen. That's also why I say keep the stress at a minimum, because however you're feeling is how your baby was feeling. And I swear she felt how I was feeling. We got that under control. I remember going to sleep for a couple of hours, woke up, and I was like, I know I can't move right now, but like, I have to go poop. Like, I really have to go poop. My mom's over here in the front of me just pacing back and forth, and as soon as I said, yo, I have to poop, she immediately stopped. Like, everyone immediately just froze. They were like, no, like, don't push, don't do anything, just be still, lay there. I was like, okay. That's how it feels when you have that like pooping sensation. That means the baby is about to come out of you. They got the nurses in there and they were like, they checked me and they were like, oh baby, you are 10 centimeters dilated. So that's the goal. The nurses want you to be 10 centimeters dilated before you even get to pushing. That's completely dilated. And y'all, when she said, you're ready to go, here come the waterworks again. I'm like looking at her, I'm just bawling my eyes out like, oh my God, we're about to have a baby. Like, I can't do this. I'm pretty much just gonna let the video that I insert show how the rest of the story went.
You need to switch out. You okay?
Yeah, hang on. Push. Yep. 3 actually. All right, push.
Okay, Liam.
Yep.
Okay.
Oh my, oh, push.
Here she is, Maury. All right. Okay. Okay. Working on it. Here she is.
Thinking about it.
Here she is.
We just have to aggravate her a little bit. Say hey, Mama. Great job. You did awesome.
Good job, Maury. Good.
This is supposed to be a girl. Somebody want to look and see? It's a girl.
It's here is Betsy.
What do you think?
I don't know.
It's a lot going on right here. All right.
So, I hope you enjoyed the story. Comment below if you have any questions about being induced. Let me know if you have a scheduled induction date soon or whatever the case may be. Just comment below. Okay, can we say bye?
Bye.
Bye.